Welcome to the M3 Bearcast. My name is Malcolm Travers. In this episode, I speak with Kostner Guyton about critical thinking, open-mindedness, vaccine hesitancy, and forgiveness. It was a wide-ranging discussion. We were talking for the first time, and I was gauging the sorts of topics that he is interested in, and it turned out to be a very engaging conversation that went in directions I couldn't have imagined. His expertise made it all the better to discuss conspiracy theories and faulty thinking. So I hope you enjoy this conversation with Kostner Guyton.
Yeah, my name is Kostner. Gosh, like I was telling you earlier, I kind of work in science communication, particularly in zoos and aquariums. I used to live in Albany, Georgia, and I used to work at the Little Flint River Aquarium. But now I work at the Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta in a leadership role, helping other young people use their voice to interpret galleries and habitats. And so that's just what I do professionally. As for my interests, I'm a big science nerd, love animals, and can really get into almost any topic. I have a lot of opinions on anything and everything, science, media, current topics, politics. I like to consider myself a pretty well-versed person.
So let me see. I had a list of topics I was going to make. One of the things I've been doing has been like making short videos. And what I do is I just, while I'm listening to the news, I would like take a note here or there so I can go through my notes. Most of it, I'm trying to be more positive. I don't know. Like I realize like these notes and stuff that I've been doing, I've been like me ranting about stuff I hate or I'm annoyed. I want to be more positive and have like affirmations and stuff. But I'm like,
well, there's a lot to hate. There's a lot to be angry about right now.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. At least my rants are not scathing, like it's a mild rebuke. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do try to keep it positive. So there was this story about, I think this is from Chicago. High school students are being taught mandatory media literacy classes, which I thought was kind of interesting. And the literacy classes are just basically trying to teach high school students how to tell when a news story is possibly not true versus being true. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, and first of all, a lot of people had issues with it, but kids now grow up in a different age where news stories are being tweeted at them and shared with them, and they're often just reading the headlines. And I think it really is a necessary skill for a person growing up now to have, to be able to tell what's true and what's not. And like I realize like half of my rants are about like the anti-vaxxers and stuff like that, and it often has to do with being able to tell what's true and what's not. And what's crazy is I have a friend who's kind of an anti-vaxxer, although he's not that far gone. Like he actually believes coronavirus is a real virus. And he wears a mask and socially distances, but will not get the vaccine. And he'll go on and on about like side effects and so forth. And I don't even really need any like research to refute what he's saying, but he doesn't hear me. I don't know what he's listening to, but I'll be like something like there's like 7 different vaccines spread out over like 60 different countries that are independently testing it. Hundreds of millions of people have taken it, and none of them are growing a second head. Like no one's turned into zombies.
Right, yeah.
So few people have got sick. Yeah, it's like 6 in a million people have some adverse side effects. That's lower than aspirin. It's so low, it's ridiculous. Like, give me a break. Seriously, it's lower than aspirin. Right. It's lower than Tylenol. It's safe. And then he'll go on this rant about like they're pushing the vaccine so hard. Like
it's a global pandemic.
Exactly. Like we want this shit to be over. But I guess I have to respect him for at least wearing a mask and saying that. It's just
that's a start. I deal with people who don't want to do anything.
Right.
Like no mask, no vaccine, no distancing, no staying home when you're sick.
Right. Oh my God. That's even horrible. That's the worst. I remember hearing stories about anti-vaxxers who had died because they weren't vaccinated and weren't wearing masks, so they caught the virus and died. And I want to be like Ding Dong. I want to say Ding Dong, which is dead, and because in a literal sense, the world is better off. Like fewer people are likely to die because of the misinformation that you've been spreading. But like a part of me just can't, because I'm like, well, maybe they could have changed their mind, and maybe they could have convinced those people otherwise. Maybe they could have been, they didn't have to die. And it's still kind of sad to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like at first I was like, oh yeah, idiots are getting what they deserve. But now I'm like, people aren't really taught to think critically.
Right.
And now people are being asked to think critically, but in a not good way. They're like, oh, do your own research. But by do your own research, I mean watch videos of other people who have not done research, or watch videos of people who have done research but are cherry picking data.
Right.
So whatever fits their narrative. And it's like, oh, see, people are dying of COVID. I mean, or the vaccine. It might be like one person who had an underlying condition who would have likely died anyway, who just happened to also get the
vaccinated.
vaccine.
Yeah. Basically, anyone who's vaccinated who dies had died from the vaccine. If they can make it look that way. It's like, oh, he got vaccinated, and then cars hit him. Like, oh, okay. Look, it makes you susceptible to car crashes. Like, okay. It was the vaccine. Oh, I think it was that Toyota. I think it was the Toyota. But yeah, there's a lot of that. It's like, yeah, it gave him a heart attack. I think they just had a heart attack.
And so, I mean, and we had a president who downplayed the pandemic, downplayed the efficacy of the vaccines, downplayed the efficacy of masks, and he just sowed severe distrust in our public institutions of, public safety.
Yeah.
And so, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, if if the highest people of your country are telling you one thing and telling you not to trust the trusted, scientific sources.
Yeah, for sure. And what's interesting is, the interesting thing is, of course, there was a time when we might have debated whether or not his methods, his sort of anti-truth political style mattered at all. Because there's like, well, politicians lie. It's true, though. I mean, politicians shade the truth
for sure
all the time to try to convince people of certain things. But usually it's based in some shade of the truth. It's usually, it's not so brazenly like, I'm going to create my own reality, and it is not even for some greater political aim, really. I don't even understand what his goal was there. What was your goal? I don't get it. Like, why? What did you think was just going to go away if you had like magical thinking? You're like, you're going to wish it away, and
I think it was to sow distrust in any source of information that wasn't him.
True enough.
And that way, no matter, I mean, Donald was clearly someone with things to hide.
Right.
Like, regardless if any of those things have come out or will come out, he had things to hide.
Yeah.
And he was smart by getting ahead of it by instructing his base to just distrust anything that they heard contrary to what he said or anything negative about him.
Yeah, that's
true. And if the pandemic is raging in the country and you're the president and the experts are saying you should take the vaccine and you should wear a mask and things are still bad, you tell people, well, they don't work. And so that's why things are still bad. It's not an effect on my poor leadership. It's the methods that they're pushing just aren't effective and they're not scientifically sound. And so that's why it's bad. I'm still good.
Right.
I'm still being a good leader.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I remember there was an interview that I think it was Leslie Stahl. Was she working for CBS 60 Minutes? when he was running for president, and she was like personally offended by his fake news thing, and she took him aside and asked him kind of directly, why are you doing this? And he basically said what you just said, which is like, I am priming them to distrust the media. I know eventually you're going to publish some bad stories about me, and I don't want them to believe it. Yeah. It's just really openly. And what's funny is, of course, I think it was maybe 3 weeks ago, tried to go to a rally in Alabama and ask people to get vaccinated, and they booed his ass off the stage.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't even, like, he started this train and can't get, he doesn't have control over it.
You can't stop it.
Yeah. I was going to do a video about Michael K. Williams' death and how I feel sometimes the media is very sensitive when someone dies of a drug overdose. And I'm always curious. I feel some kind of way about it. Like, I feel like if someone dies of an addiction, it should be covered the same way as someone dying of cancer or heart disease. But I guess that's not the world we live in.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so, I mean, when I ask why, of course I know why So I read like 2 or 3 articles before I actually got to an article that stated a possible cause of death, and even then they were just saying he may have. They're investigating, which I guess is responsible journalism, but I don't think it's responsible to just leave that out when you say he died and he was found in his apartment, and then you're just like, okay, well, why was he, like, that's part of the story. You just completely leave it out. There's at least 2 or 3 articles I read like that.
Right, yeah. They might not have known.
Right.
And I think what I've seen is that drugs were found at the scene, but they, of course, have to wait on toxicology reports to confirm that an overdose was a cause of death.
That's true.
And so, and also, sometimes it's at the request of the family to leave certain details out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And
I don't know.
I completely understand it. I'm not fighting against it, because I actually had a friend who died that way. And it took me years before I figured out that it was a drug overdose. And it was one of those things where we knew he was sick, but nobody knew why. I was like, people are just making up stories about it. And eventually, and even now, I can't say I know 100%. This is just the most recent story that I heard about his death. And that's what's really messed up to me, is like when you were saying maybe they didn't know, the news organization that publishes. Like, well, isn't that your job to know? You're writing an article on someone's death. I think as a reporter, like I've been a reporter at one point. Like, I know you want to know if you're a reporter.
Right, yeah.
Like, when you saw his death, like, you could at least say something about, like, his cause of death is unknown at this time or whatever.
Yeah.
But like
just more details to whatever.
Yeah, but they just completely ignore it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's maybe more, I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's just me just reading more into something than it's really there. But it was really tragic. Thinking about,
I wasn't too familiar with his work. I had seen his face before. Definitely didn't know his name.
Right.
I'd never seen The Wire or anything else that he was on. But of course, it's always sad.
Yeah. No, the only thing I saw him on was the most recent thing. I can't remember, Lovecraft Country. I watched that, and he was on an episode of Law and Order. I remember he was scary as fuck. I mean, he was that guy who always was. And I remember, he was in a movie with. He's been in a lot of shit, but I'm trying to remember what movie it was. But he always plays the scary motherfucker because he had this big scar across his face. And he has, his deep, gravelly voice, so like he always played the scary guy. But no,
getting typecast.
Yes, that was his thing. No, he had an interesting life. So apparently he was a backup dancer for Madonna years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And he somehow got cut in a street fight, and his career as a dancer ended because his face is fucked up. But
that's horrible.
Yeah. So, but somehow he was kind of still in the industry. He had friends and stuff, whatever. and he got typecast because of the way he looked and sounded. It's like, oh, you make a great gangster. And then next thing he's got and shit. He turned out to be really good at it. Like, his whole career was typecast. He didn't train as an actor at first.
Yeah.
But, I mean, eventually he got the training. But, yeah, so, I mean, that was kind of interesting. Then on top of that, he was low-key gay, which is something a lot of people kind of like on the low.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and all the speculation was that he had a relationship with DMX.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm not usually for like the gay speculation meal because I think most of it's bullshit. But this is one of those that was kind of like an open secret type secret. It's almost like on the level of Queen Latifah being gay, nobody was surprised when she said that. And if he had ever, and if he had ever come out, it would have not been surprising because it was the people around him and everything kind of knew. They just didn't talk about it out of respect.
Yeah, I don't see how anyone keeps that kind of thing under wraps in 2021.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's a good question. I don't know how.
Lead a really private life and have some really solid friends.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Or you have to pay a lot of people off.
That's a real possibility. I was listening to this podcast on Spotify called The Get Up. It's like a morning show type thing. And so they brought it up, and they were just talking about how important forgiveness is, and one of the co-hosts was actually arguing with that fact. Like, she was like, I don't think forgiveness is all that important. And I kind of want to lean toward her point of view. The point being is, like, when people have done something wrong to me, I feel like sometimes when I get over the anger, it's not the same as forgiveness. Like, I still hate that motherfucker, but I just choose, I choose to not let it affect me. You know what I mean? And that's not forgiveness. I don't know if forgiveness is necessary. Now, I think forgiveness is one of the ways that you can get over that hurt.
Yeah.
But it's not the only.
Depends on your definition of forgiveness.
Okay.
Like, to some people, forgiveness means that if we had a particular relationship and you wronged me, to some people, I forgive you means that, okay, well, we're going back to where we were. Like, like, you said you're sorry, I believe you, I feel like you've grown, okay, we're moving on, we're moving forward as if it hasn't happened.
Right.
Like, that can be one person's interpretation of forgiveness. I think when most people talk about forgiveness, when they're saying like, oh, well, it's important to forgive people, I think what they're saying is that you can't let what this person did to you like wear you down.
Right.
Like, if someone has wronged you and every time you see this person it throws you into a fit, and you get spiraled back into what this person did to you, like, I don't believe that's healthy.
Right.
And I think holding animosity towards people, that requires a lot of energy. Like, when I'm angry at people, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Like,
it's true.
It's exhausting. It's hard to think about other things. It's hard to enjoy things. It's like, say you're at an event and someone is there that's done you wrong. And like, if you have unresolved business with them, it's like you can't enjoy your time.
Right.
That person is like,
that's true.
It's sucking that person, or the grudge between you two is sucking the energy out of it. And what's really important to remember is that person might not even be thinking of it. They might be so over it. I mean, even if they were the ones who did something wrong, they might be over it. And it's a new phrase that I've heard a while, like, they're living rent free in your head.
Right. I've heard that too.
So it's like, don't let these people live rent free in your head. If they're at the party having a good time, so should you. And it doesn't mean you like this person anymore. Doesn't mean you want to fuck with them anymore. It just means that, I'm done with it. It's over. What happened? I'm moving on. And I think that's the forgiveness that most people like really think that you need to get to. And I think just having so many definitions of forgiveness kind of muddies that.
Yeah. I definitely hear what you're saying, because in my case, I may have been relying on distance to allow myself to forget about them rather than forgive them. And that's kind of been my strategy. It's just like if we had to be at the same social event, I don't know if I would feel anger. I would almost feel pain, I would say. I've had that sort of situation where it's just like almost shocking or scary, like I can't believe this motherfucker's here. Like I have to confront this thing that I've been ignoring and hoping I never have to deal with it forever. But usually what happens, though, because I've given it so much time and space, is that forgiveness just naturally happens. Like, it doesn't make sense to hold on to something that happened 10, 15 years ago or something. Like, I don't know if it really takes that much time. But even like 5 years, like that feels like a lifetime ago in a way, even though it's not that long ago. It's just like so much more has happened. So much more has happened in my life. So much more is happening in my life. And because I haven't really thought about it, it feels ridiculous to think about it now. But I still hate that motherfucker. Like, that's the point I'm trying to make, is like, I always felt like forgiveness is a gift you give that person. Even if you don't say it to them.
It's like totally a gift you give yourself.
I know a lot of people say that. I've heard that. But I'm saying I'm not feeling always this sort of anger because I'm not in your presence, and I choose to not be in your presence. So I'm not thinking about you. I don't have any ill will toward you. It's just like if you came at me the wrong way, I might put a knife in your head. Of course I have some anger. I'm just kidding. But no, I was just saying, like, don't really come at me like that, though. Like, I really don't like you. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm like, if we were to get in, I might pull some hands on you because I really don't like you as a person. But I'm going to choose to never be in your presence. And I might
you know, if folks are toxic, then that's good.
Yeah.
Like if someone is a toxic person, they have not changed, they spit in your drink if you turned your back, stay away from them.
Right.
Like I can definitely see, like, if there's a toxic person who has no problem continuing to be a pain to you.
Yeah.
I can definitely see people's hesitancy to like entertain the idea of like forgiveness,
right?
Especially when someone continues to be
right. They haven't changed at all. Like they're the same person you knew 20 years ago. They're still the same person.
In those situations, you just cut them off.
Right.
Cut them off.
Right.
You stop engaging with them whenever possible. Like,
I'm used by them sometimes. Like, I've moved from like mad to almost like, oh my god, I can't believe he's got a whole new scheme or whatever. And, like, so it was a friend of mine who it was like, it was a dating situation. I visited him. Everything about him that I thought I knew was a lie. Right. It was just like, and I'm sure he has his reasons, but like, he's a pathological liar, and it's not just a personality trait. It's an actual mental health type thing. Like, he really makes up things to deal with some serious deep-seated issues. And so I laughingly call him crazy as fuck. It's like, this motherfucker's crazy as fuck. And I enjoy his posts on Facebook. It's amusing how bad of like none of this is real. No. Knowing who he is as a person, I can see the same patterns, in his behavior online. And I actually almost find it funny. Like, I would never fuck with him, but it's not even, I'm not angry. I'm just like, wow, this is some messed up shit. Let me see more.
People in our life that refuse to grow, and all you can do is just be amused by their antics.
Yeah.
By their continued bad behavior.
Right.
That's all you can do.
I wonder how many people do that to people. Because I know a couple people like that. Like, having a friend who told me about someone having a similar person in their life. And I see it because I know enough about him to know that what he told me was true. And I'm like, he was his crazy motherfucker in his life. And then I look at it sometimes like, yeah, he's kind of crazy. But no, the crazy ones are always the sexy ones. I don't know. Maybe it's just being sexy allows you to be crazy or something. Like, that's maybe what it is. Like, if you were ugly, you got your shit together by now. But the fact that means that you can just be crazy. and still get through life. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty privilege. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you're good looking, you don't have to work on yourself.
Right.
Because people are attracted to, most people are attracted, first thing that attracts someone is your looks.
Yeah.
You know, even if you got a shitty personality, you aren't looking for anything serious anyway. And you have good looks, you just have a revolving door.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that used to piss me off for one of the people for me. But then I realized, like, every person who comes out of that door knows exactly what I know. And then I meet those people, and then I realize, like, I get that he's sucking people in over and over again, but the people who come out are now my allies. It's like, I'm sorry, dude, that had to happen to you. And I know, and it was so fucked up is like, you want to tell someone ahead of time, because what's funny is someone tried to warn me too, but you don't listen because you're blinded by the pretty. But when they come out the revolving door, you may like, we can get a drink and commiserate about it. Just kind of. Thank you for listening to the M3 Bearcast thus far. And if you'd like to be a greater part of the Male Media Mind community, please join us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course on YouTube, where you can subscribe, hit the bell button, and you'll be notified when we record our live streams. This is where I host one on Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going to be inviting Kostner on the regular to discuss things like politics, science, social issues, mental health, philosophy. I mean, our conversation in this podcast was wide-ranging, and he's well-versed on a host of different issues, and we're going to be discussing those. On Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern, Greg hosts a live stream about pop culture, the news, politics, and he does a advice column of sorts where people inbox him questions and we answer them. On Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, Devon hosts a very geeky podcast covering entertainment news, including movies, comic books, television shows, and whatever's in the culture, such as conventions, controversies, and what is happening on social media. So make sure to join us on all of our social media platforms. Just search Male Media Mind. Subscribe, hit the bell button, turn on notifications so that you can be a part of the greater Male Media Mind community. And now, back to my conversation with Kostner. You know, so in that regard, it's fucked up, but I don't know, like, I think in a strange way, some of those people are, you may even say, put into your life to help you grow as a person. It's like if you haven't been through something like that, like you wouldn't understand. On some level, it helps that you have someone in your life that you need to forgive. Like, that's a character building exercise in a sense, to actually need to forgive someone. Because not everyone can deal with that. Like, I know some, you know, just never had to deal with needing to forgive someone. So I don't know, like maybe those smaller examples can help us in the in the other ones.
Did that reel you back in? Are you back on the forgiveness train?
Well, in some ways. Like I said, yeah, I guess I am. I think forgiveness might be too narrow a word. I want to say, I want to say, like, forgiveness is one strategy for dealing with hurt, but I think I want to say something like recovery or resilience or something like that. Like, recovering from a detrimental person could be good for you. Like some of these,
for sure.
Yeah, I think like some of these people who are like narcissistic and hurt people over and over again. But if those people get through it and actually learn something about themselves, I could see benefits in it. And I don't know if it all comes from forgiveness. For some people it is. For me, it's a kind of forgiveness, but it's almost like it's certainly an acceptance. Like, I accept you for who you are. I accept what happened to me and what part I played in it. And I don't forgive you, but I understand. I'm not upset about it so much as I am. Yeah, acceptance might be the word I would use instead of.
But I mean, I think you hit on something really important. Like you said, I accept you for who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing, especially when you're dealing with a toxic person is that because the anger, the resentment, you hating that motherfucker is because like they portrayed that idea of who you thought they were.
Yeah.
Like you're mourning the loss of that person. Like when someone betrays you, it's like they killed the person that you knew, you loved, you trusted, and became someone else. And like this new person took their place. And like sometimes like to forgive someone, you have to accept like, oh, you're not who I thought you were.
Yeah.
And I have to let go of this idea of who I thought you were.
Yeah.
And I have to accept that who you actually are is not compatible with me.
Yes.
And so now we are moving our separate ways.
Yes.
Like you know, and I think that's still a form of forgiveness.
Okay.
Like you're not condoning what they did. You're accepting that like this person that you thought you knew isn't who you thought you knew. And like you're relinquishing yourself. You're like, okay, well, I was the one who was fooled. And so now I'm moving on.
I was going to say the reason I think a lot of people would not call it forgiveness is because I would still hold some sort of anger if I saw them in person.
Mm-hmm.
I would still avoid them.
And I think that's normal.
Yeah.
Like when someone has wronged you, there's this analogy of the piece of paper. And you got this piece of paper and you do all kinds of bad things to it. Like you cut up, you rip it up or whatever. But then you say you're sorry to it and you start to smooth it out and you try and piece it back together. Like it'll never be a perfect piece of paper again.
Right.
And that like kind of represents the hurt that people can do to you.
Yeah.
And you can accept the fact that people have tried to smooth you out, but the wrinkles, the tears, they're all still there.
Yeah.
And so you can accept that this is who you are now. Like this person has hurt me, but I still feel pain when I have to be around this person or hear this person's name or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's just part of that's just part of the process. And I don't think I don't think feeling something when you encounter someone that you quote unquote forgiven doesn't discount the fact that you have forgiven them and you're on a path forward.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because like I said, we were having a fairly robust discussion about forgiveness and then just technology in general, and talking about our favorite podcasts and so forth, anti-vaxxers and science denial, like media. There's so many things, and we'll get into that. But it's good to get someone who likes to talk about a lot of the same things that I do. And I think that was one of the things, like when I do the live streams, I'm bringing a topic to discuss, like through listening to different media and so forth, and like taking notes and so forth. But usually it's just a conversation that I would enjoy having regardless. So a lot of times it's just like bringing something extra to it to make it more valuable for a recording. But these are the kind of conversations I'd probably be having anyway. And it gives me a chance to like maybe retain more of what I'm watching and reading.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So it gives me a reason to do that. Unfortunately, today I have nothing. I didn't bring anything for us to talk about because I just said I got off work. I said, let's just talk like before. Because I mean, I would definitely invite you to any of the M3 live streams that It's just like I didn't want to do that until we actually got a chance to talk, and instead of just.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it makes sense to just.
I kind of got a topic idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I saw you're using an iPhone. I also use an iPhone. Apple has an event next Tuesday.
Okay.
Will you be watching? And do you think you'll be upgrading?
I'm definitely upgrading. Okay. The reason being is I actually just need a new phone. No, it's cracked as fuck. It's a huge spiderweb crack right around there, expanding, and I've been having issues with my phone. Yeah, so I'm definitely upgrading. I will be interested to see what is next for the iPhone 13. I don't know what else I'm interested in. I am deeply into the Apple ecosystem in the sense like I have the phone, I have a watch, I have iPad, and an iMac. So, I mean, I'm definitely I'm not a fanatic.
I'm just as deep. I'm talking to you through my MacBook using my AirPods. I have a 12 Pro Max, and I'm looking at my iPad Pro right here. So I'm very deep in the applesauce.
Yeah, the applesauce. It says my friend Mark says I'm an apple hoe. They got me hard, but at the same time, I'm not. I don't know, an Apple true believer, because I know like some people are in it. But the thing is, for me, what matters for me is the simplicity of a lot of things. I'm kind of lazy and not that smart, and even if I was smart enough to figure out certain things, I just don't want to. Like I'm much more likely to do a task if it's easy to do.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. I think their software makes it pretty easy to do pretty complex things.
Yeah.
And I like that. I think, like, especially a personal computer should be easy to use.
Yeah.
Make it easier to get the work that you have to do done.
Yeah.
Like that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think being in the applesauce helps me do that.
Yeah, this is true. And sometimes it happens in ways that I'm unexpected. Now, I still use a Windows laptop as well. Mm-hmm. And that's mainly because gaming. Like, I don't know why MacBooks don't allow things like Steam or Blizzard or some of the other platforms for PC gaming. Like, I don't know why they can't open their platform to do it, because they obviously can technologically do it. Because you can, install Windows on a Mac and just boot it up as a Windows system. And I guess that's a solution. But it's kind of like, why can't you do it in your operating system? Right? That is, to me, the weak point of the applesauce is the MacBook or the Mac itself.
Yeah, but they're definitely not gaming machines.
Right. They do have, but their strength obviously is that they're in the applesauce. So the fact that it connects to your watch and your pad and your phone, and all the photos are just seamlessly in the cloud together, and anything you do on one happens on the other, and it's just like, without you having to do anything to set it up, it just does it.
Yeah, it just works.
Yeah, it just does it.
That's what they say. It just works.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes when you don't want it to work. Mind you, like when someone calls me and it rings on 5 different devices, I'm like...
That is true.
Yeah. Especially if it's someone who's calling you don't want to answer. But now that's why I got the watch, because I can silence it real quick.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, actually I got the watch for like health reasons, fitness tracking.
Fitness tracking.
Yeah. I wanted to track my sleep and my activity, and it's actually been really good. Like I can see that I'm going up in activity and see my sleep. Sometimes like I will wake up in the morning and not really remember if I slept well or not, and I can see just how much movement.
So you do sleep with it on for the sleep tracking. Okay.
Yeah. So like for me, all I need to do is charge it as I'm getting ready in the morning.
I mean, they charge pretty quick.
Yeah, they do. Like an hour is a full
which
charge.
Is nice.
Yeah. And for me, I don't even need a full charge. Like 30 minutes is good enough for a full day. Yeah. So I'm kind of in that, but that's the thing. I see it's almost like a rabbit hole that you could go down. Because I remember, when I was a kid, I absolutely loved having a watch that had a calculator on it. I thought it was like the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I remember how the calculator watches and. Yeah,
and now
I got in trouble for having one.
Yep, me too. But now, what's on my wrist? I don't even know what's in there. Like it's shining green lights into my skin. It has like 50,000 apps that I've never even opened. I'm looking for the calculator, and then I'm scrolling through the apps, and it's like
that
bubbles.
Green light, it's interfacing with the microchip. But
Don't say that. We do not say that for real. They will take off the video. We're just joking. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, I'm kidding.
Oh, God, no. No, they really did do that, by the way. But they weren't kidding. Oh,
really?
Yeah, they did. They more than demonetized. They took down one of our videos when someone espoused a vaccine conspiracy. I was like, oh, my God. Now we can never talk about this on air.
Oh, wow.
It's really bad. But at the same time, I understand, because we were just talking about that misinformation not everyone is going to be literate in science.
Right, yeah, for sure.
And
absolutely.
I would like everyone to have at least a base knowledge of science, but because first of all, some people generally are probably not suited to it. You know what I mean? They just naturally don't retain that sort of information well, and on a base level just don't have an interest in it. And so as much as they had to do science when they were in school and forced to do it, that's all they did. And now as adults, like, that information is wearing thin.
Yeah, and it's particularly bad because those people, you didn't have to be particularly literate in science because there was a decent amount of trust in scientific professionals.
Yeah.
And now that that's being eroded away, people who were getting D's in science are now science experts.
Or they're the ones making
research
and making the rules on that. This is another funny thing about intelligence. I remember someone said to me, like, there are the exceptions of politicians who are intelligent, but on the whole, voters don't like intelligent politicians. They feel like they're uppity and arrogant, and they really actually like someone who down a little bit. I remember feeling a little bad when I saw Barack Obama dumb himself down to campaign. He did. Oftentimes he was not the Harvard professor on the campaign trail. He tried to be the folksy guy, because that's what people want. They didn't want an intelligent Harvard professor.
Yeah. Relatability is important.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like someone who's talking to you can't relate to you, how many Harvard professors or anyone who went to Harvard, or does the common person know? You feel like, oh, well, that person, they don't understand what it's like to be someone like me.
Yeah.
And so you have to be folksy. You have to get down.
Yeah.
And you have to, not in the mood to always compliment our, former president, but he mastered that.
Yeah.
Like talking, changing his language, because our former president, regardless of how he acted, like, he's an intelligent person. Like,
for the most part, he was educated.
Yes, he's well educated. I will say that.
Yeah.
I don't know how intelligent he is, but he's well educated.
Right.
And he knew how to work his audience, and I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, because there was the time he said people should drink bleach, and he just said, "I'm just spitballing." He was serious, and then he tried to pull it off as a joke. Like, did you really just suggest people drink bleach, inject it right? It's like it kills the virus. But that's part of it. Maybe why he got elected. You know?
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
that's the appeal. They want someone who will say what's on their mind, regardless if it's right or wrong. He had the courage to say it. He wasn't afraid of the woke liberals in the media.
Thank you for listening to the M3 Bearcast thus far. And if you would like to support Male Media Mind, you can do so through our Amazon affiliate program. We're reading The Narcissistic Epidemic, and we'll be making a podcast about narcissism and self-love based on some of the information in the book. And next month, I'm going to be discussing The Lonely Century, which is a discussion about loneliness on a macro level. We often talk about how to deal with loneliness on a mental health level, and we'll certainly be discussing that. But in the book, The Lonely Century, it really gets into how loneliness affects society, governments, and the world at large. And I think it's a very interesting discussion. So if you click on the link in the description and purchase the book, we'll get a small commission without any extra cost to you. And that way you can participate in our discussions about the book and give us feedback on what we thought about it. We really appreciate everybody who participates in the Amazon affiliate program. It really bolsters our topics that we're discussing, and it means a lot to me that you would financially support M3. All right, now back to my conversation with Kostner. Yeah, this is my thing. Why is it so hard to get people vaccinated? Because you're literally living through a global pandemic, a virus that could fucking kill you, and you're not motivated to get a vaccine? I don't understand. Like, if the fear of this virus killing you is not enough reason to go get vaccinated, what is?
I mean,
I don't understand.
I mean, honestly, we really shouldn't be surprised. If you looked at the statistics of cars and car accidents and car fatalities, if we had that kind of mindset or like fear aversion because of risk assessment, no one would drive cars.
That's true. It's pretty deadly. Yeah. And I mean, certainly people are not going for driverless cars. That's definitely never happened.
And people don't trust those either.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to go for that. I'm almost on that level. I
think what people are afraid of is a loss of control.
Yes, that absolutely
is. Even though we know
like if everyone was just
can be extremely dangerous, but they trust it because they're behind the wheel.
True enough. So like if it was
once
like
they stick that needle in your arm,
yeah, that's true.
To them, you can't control. Like they don't know what's in it. Right. They don't know how it's going to react to their body. It doesn't matter that they don't know what's in the food that they're eating.
Right.
Or what's in the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, because and it doesn't matter because they choose to put it in their body. But like,
that's a good
with
point.
this vaccine, there's a lot of pressure to get vaccinated, and sometimes pressure feels like coercion, and it feels like it's no longer my choice.
Right. Yeah, that's understandable for sure.
So I think that's a big reason for a lot of hesitancy.
Right. Yeah, no, and I'm sympathetic to the hesitancy, actually. I was actually speaking to you this before. I was using strong language to really bring home the point that it is irrational to me to not get the vaccine. Because, I mean, like, you're right, it is a matter of control. But whether you do something or you don't do something, you're still choosing a risk. You're choosing the risk of being more vulnerable to this disease. Something that at this point I can't imagine you think is a hoax. Like you have to have known someone who's gotten sick or died at this point. Haven't they? Someone? I mean, like
right. I mean, full transparency. I have an aunt that is in the hospital right now on a ventilator because she did not get vaccinated for COVID-19.
Yeah. And it is super sad. That's the reason why I can't really get angry. Like I said, I use strong language to make a point, but I really am not angry at people who don't choose. It's just sad. And I'm seriously thinking about how one can get to people other than really at the end of the day that it's just got to get worse. I was saying that even though there was this expectation that we could get up to 70% vaccination by July 4th, that was something that the president had put in place. He was basing that on the same statistics that he used when he wanted to get 100,000 people vaccinated in the first 100 days of his presidency. And they more than doubled that expectation. So they were at 250,000 or something like that. So he's basing it on the same predictions that had come before. So he thought it was a clear goal that we could meet. That was 70% vaccination. We haven't gotten over 52% now. Now what they were saying though, what I was reading. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is that he didn't anticipate that those high vaccinations were people who were ready and chomping at the bit to get vaccinated.
True.
And then like once May came around, everyone who wanted to be vaccinated was.
Right.
And then just
right.
Because no one else was interested.
Right. But they said it's going back up now. Yes. They're saying about 1 million, was it 1 million a week or so are getting vaccinated now? Which is a pretty high rate, higher than it was before. And for them, they feel that the motivation was the fear of the new variant, the Delta variant, which is, of course, now killing children, which the Alpha variant was not.
Yeah, I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
That the first round, children were seemingly unaffected. But now with this Delta variant, it's more contagious. I guess a higher percentage of the virus can get in people.
Right.
And it's starting to really negatively affect children. And so I think that really is spiking people getting vaccinated. They're like, oh, okay, well, I could ignore this at first, but now it seems like my kids are legitimately at risk and we want them to be in school, and there's such a high risk of them getting COVID at school.
And they can't get vaccinated. That's what's even worse. It's like,
yeah.
So, I mean, I guess they technically could, but it's not approved for them. Like, it wouldn't be safe. It wouldn't be considered safe yet. They're still testing to see if it is. So, yeah.
I don't know why people don't turn to that. The people are saying, like, oh, well, they're pushing the vaccine, well, or it's not tested well enough. I'm like, well, we're not even letting kids get it yet because we want to make sure that it's safe. We're going through all these safety protocols. We understand that kids are getting sick now, but right now, at this time, we're not sure that the risk of vaccinating outweighs the risk of them getting COVID.
Yeah.
And to me, that reassures me that we're doing the due diligence to make sure that these vaccines are safe for everyone to take when they're available. And so, consider that.
Yeah. And not only that, I've heard there's other vaccines on the way too, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They said a more traditional vaccine, which I don't know if that would be more reassuring for people, but using actual decomposed or deactivated virus as a vaccine, which is the more traditional way of doing it. They feel that it's safe to do that. And would people feel more safe with a more traditional vaccine? I mean, I guess more options is maybe better. Like, how do we make these sort of topics? Like, I'm not trying to be the science Nazi. I'm trying to be the person who's like, you must understand. But I do want to be the person who's like genuinely interested in how to relate to people through science topics. How we can have a meeting of the minds on different complex issues, and if not put down, at least sum it up in a way that doesn't bore people. Because I don't know if I could really genuinely down some of these things, but
I mean, that's a really big part of science communication, is fitting a particular topic for your audience, because we have all kinds of people come through. And there are most of them, they're hungry for knowledge, but if you use the most technical language, you're going to lose them.
Yeah.
If you put down too much, you're going to insult them. You're going to make them think that, like, oh, they think I'm an idiot. And so you really have, like, when you first start talking to someone, you really have a few seconds to gauge, like, at what level am I going to give this information to this person?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, those topics, I remember having sort of endemic of some of the issues that I've had is I have had a friend I've had to try to convince that the Earth was round.
Wow.
Yes. He's a fully functioning being who kind of was like, I'm not sure the Earth is round. Like, I'm literally sitting in front of a picture of the globe spinning. But no, yeah.
So on one hand, I'm kind of, excited that there's such a large group of people within society that are finally really starting to question things.
Yeah.
They're like just not taking your word for it. And
True enough.
On one hand, I think that's an interesting development for one.
Yeah.
But two, I also want people to put it into context.
Right.
Like, okay, I think it's great. I think it's important to question things.
Yeah.
But like for flat earthers, for example, you've been told your whole life the Earth is round.
Yeah.
And maybe you wake up one day and you say, like, what? I've been told the Earth is round my whole life, but I really can't prove that. I can't validate that.
Yeah.
And I think it's one thing to come to that conclusion, to be like, what? This is something I just have to take at face value. Like, I just have to take someone's word for it. But I do think it's another thing to say, well, I think it's flat. Because even though, like, but you don't have any evidence to support that it's flat.
Yeah. No,
besides, with your narrow field of vision, can't see the curvature of the Earth. And it's like, and that's and that's the rabbit hole I don't want people to fall down. I don't want them to come to their own conclusion without doing the proper research or having verified facts. Like, people have been to space.
Right.
And there are satellites up there. If you get a powerful enough telescope, you can see them out there.
Yeah, that is a good point. I would also just ask about other planets. Like, so the moon is round and Mars is round and Venus is round. And,
right.
You know, but Earth is flat? Like, why? Why is it? I mean, they're not disks. We can see them rotating. Like,
right.
Why wouldn't we be the same? Yeah.
And I think people, if they question something, I think it's important for them to come up with a good reason why.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you really think the Earth is flat, like if you really think the Earth is flat, who benefits from us believing the world is round?
Right, because
if it's like,
it'd be this global conspiracy of like every airline pilot, really, like they get never like pretending that the Earth is flat and they don't fly across the Pacific. It's like, oh, we're circling around. Like, I don't know, like where the edges of the Earth would be too. That's the other thing. Where are the edges? Where exactly are you saying? And then what's holding it up if it's flat?
Like, how do you explain the sun setting and rising?
Well, I've heard someone actually use that as an example of reason why it's flat. He's like, well, if it was round, wouldn't one be on one side or the other? I was just like, I don't know what he said, but it was so, yeah. And that's
wouldn't it be lit on one side and dark on the other? Yeah. That's how day and night. Like, that's like you've just explained day and night.
Oh god. So that's my problem, I guess, with any sort of science literacy communication. It's actually have to respect the questioner. I might have to take a step back sometimes because sometimes someone says something to me and I don't even want to engage with it because I don't want to disrespect that person. I'm just like, I'll let you have that. I'll just let you have that.
I mean, if they come to you like honestly wanting to have a conversation,
right.
I think it's important not to dismiss them as an idiot.
Right.
So like, oh, you're an idiot for even asking this question.
That's true.
Because I do believe that's what really gets people to dig their heels in, is when you insult their intelligence for questions.
Right.
Because then they're like, oh, well, you don't even want me to question things. You just want me to accept it. And I'm like, yeah, I want you to question things.
That is really.
But I also want you to question it with some context in mind.
Right.
And
definitely
like,
understandable.
Like, this is what this side is saying, but what are you saying? What information do you bring to the table?
That is a good point. So I talked to some friends who are also teachers, and it's funny as you were mentioning how you don't want to stop a person from questioning everything, even if they're coming up with wrong answers. Very much reminded me of how he was talking to me about how he taught his students, not just science, but I think he was talking about a lot of sort of general subject matters. Asked them to make mistakes in a way and question as much as they were interested in, and but of course you do this in certain guidelines, I guess is the point, and gently nudging them in the right direction toward at least getting some principles in there and really testing, I guess, their conclusions.
Yeah, I think a big problem is that a lot of people are into critical thinking a little bit too late in life.
Yeah.
It's like when you're a kid, that's when you're supposed to be critical of the world and trying to figure out how the world works on your own terms, and then coming to the conclusion of, okay, well, this explanation makes sense, but this one over here doesn't make sense to me, and this is how I see it, and my evidence for supporting it. And that's how you build your opinions and build who you are. And I think a lot of people are trying this now for the first time as adults.
Yeah.
And they don't really have a strong basis for going through that process because they didn't do it as a kid or in school. And and now we're all suffering for it.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think it is a public good. I mean, that's the reason we have public schools. Like, we really actually need we would be in a much different place if our education system wasn't so hodgepodge. Like, I don't understand why there isn't much more centralized direction of education. Like, I get the idea that actually I don't understand why it's not more centralized and why it isn't funded more too. Because that we would save so much more money.
I can tell you that because local jurisdiction, because no one can agree on like what we should be teaching.
Right.
Like, every state has their own different standards for what they teach and how you teach it, and we can't agree. Like, I don't think they've ever been able to agree on like a national that's like uniform across all public schools.
Right. Yeah, and probably won't anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you would think there are certain things that are important enough. I mean, like, I could see there being some leeway for unique things to be taught in different places, but you would think there are certain things so core to the health of your nation that you would mandate it and fund it. Not just an unfunded mandate, but really try to instill certain values and skills in your people. Like, I don't know, and because we're kind of paying for it now, right? Like,
yeah, we definitely are. We're definitely paying for it right now.
Right. So, yeah. I was looking for an article even on Texas. It's always Texas.
Yep. Are you talking about the abortion law? Is that what you're talking about?
Actually, it was about their ban on critical race theory. There was actually a teacher who was fired.
Oh, yeah.
Or suspended. He lost his job, we can say. Suspended without pay as basically being fired for teaching critical race theory, quote unquote.
You mean history?
Contextual history, yes.
History, not from the white male perspective.
Right. Yeah, it's just challenging a few things. Our narrative of how things happen. I mean,
but I with the critical race theory, like in these local counties, like in them like banning critical race theory, I'm like, were you really in fear of it being taught in the first place? And like in these like rural Texas like city like towns, like I don't think like that was gonna happen anyway.
Well,
what like the high school I went to, like it would have never, like, you didn't need a ban. It was never gonna happen anyway.
That's true. But it's a good election topic. You got the people afraid.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's a great social issue to rile up your base and to instill fear. My God.
And it's a tool.
They're going to know the truth.
And I suppose it's a tool that you can use to also curate, you could say, your teachers. Like who anyone who shows any amount of activism, or I wouldn't even say activism, like any amount of wokeness whatsoever, you could easily probably get them fired, and which has happened. Like, I was trying to find the article, but it was a friend of mine shared it on Instagram. Yeah, it was just really sad to see, though, that it is going to cost people their jobs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I think the kids need to be learning this stuff.
Right.
They need to know history in proper context.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There was I don't even know how far they want to take it, because the things that they want to keep out of the classroom would be just talking about racism or civil rights, or I'm not even sure, because it seems like a fundamental part of American history is the civil rights movement. So I don't understand how you don't teach. I don't understand how you teach history without talking about race on some level. But I guess they do know. I guess they do have that. They have their own history. Because I remember someone was making about critical race theory is that they want to teach our kids that the founding fathers were in favor of slavery, and then someone showed a picture of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It was like all but 4 of these people were slave owners. Well, these 3 did not own slaves. The rest of them did. I don't know what else you can say. It's like, yeah. So it is what it is, man.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. What do you do?
Right. Yeah. I mean, so I get it. Like, so what's going to happen in those districts, in those states where critical race theory is banned, which I'm not even sure how that goes down in here in Georgia, but the teacher I said was in Texas, so I'm pretty sure there's similar bans in many other, it's like 20-something states that have similar laws. I know Tennessee had one, was one that was pretty popular.
Right.
The real fear is that if teachers really are going to be afraid to teach about race in general, let alone racism.
I think that's what's likely to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a taboo topic.
Yeah.
That, they're going to be afraid to even talk about it. I mean, but to be fair, it's not. I mean, like, I grew up in public schools in Georgia. It's not like they were doing that before. Like, a lot of like the places that are worried about it, like it wasn't happening already, and they weren't really in any fear of it happening.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a question I just thought about. It's like, what did they do during February? How are you going to do Black History Month when you ban Black history?
You talk about how MLK wanted us all just to hold hands and sing, and they'll talk about how he died of natural causes.
That's going to be the weirdest. I never even thought about that. One of the other things that bothered me about these bills was they also wanted all teachers to publish their lesson plans online. So basically that any teacher, or I guess any parent, could see their kids' lessons plans, which I suppose on
I think in Florida, the governor wanted them to like disclose their political beliefs.
That's crazy.
Like,
yeah, I think in one of those laws also, they wanted to outlaw teachers asking their students to write politicians' letters, which is something that a lot of civics teachers do in an early grade. It's just to literally like write the president or your congressman or your senator about something you care about. It's a basic class assignment that pretty much most people have had, and they outlawed it. I don't think they wanted to. They actually outlawed it. Why? I'm not sure. They're thinking maybe the teachers would somehow form a letter brigade or something, like letter bomb a politician or something. Maybe that's happened. I don't know. Like, how do you outlaw something that, I guess they do that all the time. I was like, how do you outlaw something that doesn't ever occur?
Right.
But they've done that before, so I'm just, because that was one of those things when I always when I studied criminal justice and communications. So it was funny when I was in school. One of the things I always found interesting were these weird laws outlawing certain things. Like, for instance, there were early in American history, there were laws against wearing facial hair. Like, it was actually considered insulting and barbaric to wear a beard.
Yeah.
And so there were laws fining people for wearing beards. And sometimes it was also anti-Semitic. It should be noted. But anyway, but still, yeah, it's just weird laws like that. Or I remember there was like a law against people playing checkers in public. And it was actually part of like a anti-homeless bill, kind of like it was something that people did who lived in the park. They would play checkers all the time. It was like his way of passing.
Heaven forbid.
I was reading or doing some research for a friend who wanted to write an article about the single life, their bachelor life. Like he's finally, I guess, reached a point in his life. He's about to turn 60. He finds himself single, and he's just like, I don't think I have it in me to do another relationship. And he, for himself, wants to justify it by writing an entire article about it. It's just like, just do you like, if you don't. But he feels like people pressure him to want to couple up, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it is a basic need for connection. So
to have for
right. So I don't think it's that weird for people to expect that. But I get the idea of wanting to be single if you do, and I'm interested to see what he has, but I just like what reasons he came up with.
I mean, I get it. I mean, being 60 and single, like, is this a straight guy, gay guy?
He's a gay guy.
I mean,
he just had a relationship like a little while ago. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's hard to find someone you're at that age. To find someone your own age.
Yeah.
Or to find someone who's willing to date someone older.
Yeah. Well, and I think also like his temperament is not conducive to relationships in general. Like he really wants his space. Like I don't think he doesn't really think well for other people. I would say some might say that's self-centered, and you might say that, but I might also say like if this is a known thing and you don't really want to hurt anyone, like I want to attend to myself and I don't want to have to think for other people. I don't know. There's a certain leeway that I would give to it. I mean, he's my friend first, but so I don't see him as someone who's selfish or anything. He really just his predisposition is to want to focus on his goals primarily. He doesn't want to be thinking about someone else. And when I hear about his previous relationships, it is in that way, like he's just not thinking about the other person, which is why.
And some people really just are relationship oriented people, or to like have like what I mean, like a romantic relationship, someone like you live with and you share your life with, and I think that's the really cool thing about how society is changing and expectations of relationships are changing.
Yeah.
I mean, people have a lot more freedom and flexibility to define what a relationship means, like to them, even a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And so maybe the traditional confines of like, oh, we live together and I am just as invested in your dreams and goals as I am in mine. And some people just don't have the capacity to do that. And that doesn't mean they're a bad person or they're a bad partner. It just might mean that you're not compatible if that's what you need.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm thinking like you can find relationship models that are different, have different goals and needs and wants met in different ways. So, and maybe he hasn't really found any of that interesting, but I'm going to talk to him about that probably sometime next week. And it'll make for an interesting topic. And those are kind of topics. The other one he wanted to do was one on Confederate Monument, and we had a discussion about it. Like, I guess the Robert E. Lee Memorial in Richmond, Virginia, was recently taken down. It took them a year to do it, by the way. Just saying. Like, they ordered it cut down a year ago, and they're just getting around to it. But, I mean, that's how government works sometimes. But
it's done.
It is done, yeah. And we had a conversation about the Stone Mountain in northern Georgia. There's a giant relief. I don't know what you call that. The stone carving. It has a name. Is it a relief?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Stone Mountain.
Yeah, Stone Mountain. I thought there was like a specific term for what you call that.
I just hiked it last week.
Oh, really? Okay.
I did.
So there's this huge image of Confederate generals on the side of the Stone Mountain, and it was specifically put there during the Civil Rights Movement in order to establish the supremacy of the South and Confederacy during the time when black people were asking for more civil rights. And we got into a discussion about whether or not we should remove that, because I remember like in many of the articles they mentioned that the Robert E. Lee is the largest and oldest Confederate. And I was like, no, Stone Mountain. That thing is huge. It's like 3 miles long or something, and it's definitely a Confederate. Like those are Confederate generals over there. But the question is like, is that something we go so far as to remove? Because I was saying to him like that would cost a lot of money to remove that.
Yeah, like how do you remove it without doing? I mean, it's a big rock.
It is.
But what do you do? Do you just file it down and just have it flat,
Right.
Or do you carve something else? Or do you just have it look ugly on the front?
Yeah, like never preserve
what
it
do you do?
or abandon it. But this is one thing that was interesting. There was a story, I want to say a few months ago, that the curator or the keeper of Stone Mountain National Park is actually black. And what he did, because he was very conscious of what is up there, he removed all the Confederate flags from the site. He removed a lot of the other smaller statues that were surrounding the site, and he put up plaques and murals talking about why this park was built in response to the civil rights movement. So it was really like an education about racism as you go into the park. It's like saying we're replacing all this celebration of the Confederacy now actually celebrating the civil rights movement and saying, like, see what the racists built to try to oppose civil rights. Like, look at that thing. Like, you can almost gawk at it. But he was not having it, though. My friend was not having it. He said, I want that thing destroyed. I want it blown up. He was like, just put some dynamite, just level the whole thing. I'm like, okay.
Well, not the Rock. Don't blow up the Rock. The Rock is a great piece of geologic history.
Yeah.
We can get rid of the carving without getting rid of the Rock.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say, to me, I went toward what he was saying about removing it, but I honestly feel like I could live with it, certainly for a period of time. I know that removing it now would not even be politically feasible. Like, it just would cost and the backlash would probably just be too much. But I do like the idea of contextualizing the monument and even shaming the people who built it. I mean,
yeah,
like a little bit. Like,
I mean,
how much
having
money
it in context, I think is important, and I think is a more valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Letting people who visit there, like, hey, like, these were some awful people who did an awful thing to a great piece of geologic history.
Yeah.
And just to assert their supremacy, and we're letting it stand as a reminder.
Yeah.
What tyranny looks like. And if that was like the framing of it, I could see it. I would be okay with it standing.
Yeah. And if someone were to change their mind in the future and want to tear it down, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm just saying, I think that compromise would, if not make me happy, at least somewhat satisfied. Because I do see some happiness and satisfaction in seeing it thing removed, like seeing the Robert E. Lee statue removed was kind of satisfying to watch. But yeah, that's about it. I look forward to whatever creative projects you're interested in doing. I know that, like I said, I would welcome you to join us on Wednesday or Saturday or Sunday for that matter.
Wednesdays are probably better. I usually get off early on Wednesdays. Usually off at 4.
That'd be perfect. Thank you for listening to the M3 Bearcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and make sure to like and comment on Apple Podcasts. Share it with your friends and live the knowledge that you've learned in this podcast. It means a lot to me that people listen to what we're discussing, and it means even more to me that it actually makes an impact in your life. So live what you've listened and share it with a friend. Again, my name is Malcolm Travers, and we will see you next Tuesday on the M3 Bearcast.